Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Phil's Corner Live. Welcome to the Hot Wall, and welcome to Baz. Good to see you, Baz. Saying, hey Phil, great to be back. Currently on a bus travelling to work, so can't watch all the stream tonight. We'll be there Thursday. No worries, Baz. I really appreciate you popping in, mate, and thanks for the message. Have a good shift. Hope it goes well. And to everyone else, welcome. If you are new here, then welcome to the channel. Welcome to this corner of the internet. Sorry, where we talk about football shirts quite simply. We have a very simple, simple aim here, and that is to share the wonderful world of kits, of shirts, of jerseys, whatever you call them in whichever part of the world you are. No worries, Baz. And this is our regular stream. Hey Daredevil, good to see you, my friend. And hope you are well. I want to say thank you for those who watched my previous video, my Euros kit leaks video, I should say, the tier list. That has had some good views, so that's really cool. More to come on the channel. Of course, alongside these streams, we are also going to be streaming on Thursday. So as Baz hinted at earlier, we'll be doing this exact same show on Thursday, and we'll probably keep doing the Hot Wall until we catch up. We're still a bit behind. I have done some catching up since our last stream, but we've still got quite a few weeks worth of kits. There's been so many releases. I mean, it is a busy time of year, but it has felt super busy, and I have missed a few weeks. So anyway, we'll be ranking shirts for the foreseeable future, and we will get back to eBay when we can, so that is not going anywhere. But welcome if you're coming in through Twitter. Good to see you. If you're coming in through YouTube, actually it'll be interesting to know whether you guys, how you guys find the stream. I could probably find those analytics somewhere, but anyway, as we begin, and I promise I'm well, I play squash on a Tuesday with a few friends, and I'm often quite knackered at this point. So that's probably where I'm going to be. Well, I've got a mute button, actually. I should probably use that. But anyway, as we begin, firstly, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you are a subscriber, you get notifications, or you'll find out when I go live and when I post videos. I say you get notifications. You need to click the bell icon to get actual notifications, but you know what I mean. Being a subscriber helps this channel massively, and I'm a small independent creator, but it really does mean a lot if you do subscribe, so please do consider that if you'd like to see more. On top of that, you can also leave a like. If you enjoyed today's stream, if you would like to see more of this, leave a like. It really helps me know what's good, and it obviously helps other people find these videos, so please do consider that. You can also leave a comment, and if you want to comment in the chat like Baz and Daredevil have done, all you need to do is just stick in anything into the chat, and I will do my best to answer any questions. I love getting your feedback as well, as I'm ranking the shirts on the tier list, of course. Love to hear whether you agree or disagree with my rankings. And finally, final notice before we get into some shirts, I have a Patreon, and the Patreon is a place where you can support me further, but you get a range of benefits, including a shirt as part of your support. You also get some really cool other perks, things like exclusive giveaway entries. So there's all sorts of stuff, but you can check out the link in the description. That's where you'll get all the information about what you get as part of my Patreon. And I do want to say thank you so much to my current patrons. I couldn't do what I do without their support. Now I'm just quickly doing some background stuff before we get into the main portion of today, so bear with me. Okay, loading up the wall. And last time, you may remember, we did MLS shirts. Today we're going to be doing a range of leagues, although we will be starting with some US shirts, not non-MLS US shirts, as you can see here. Daredevil says, would like to see you ranking World Cup / tournament balls. That would be sweet, actually. I would like to do that a lot. I have a lot of time for World Cup World Cup balls, and I think that's a really cool idea. Really cool idea, Daniel. I'll log that on the list. Right, guys, let's start. We'll go from newest and work our way backwards. And indeed, there's a range of good stuff to come. So let's start with Greenville Triumph. Now, these guys are one of a number of teams in the States who work with Hummel. Hummel USA have really grown their market share in recent years. And I think it's funny, obviously they're very established brands, but clearly their presence in the US is an area of focus for the brand. And this is an interesting design. We've got the sash, but it looks to be, what's the deal here? A very kind of fade thing. I think. Okay. I think it's supposed to be a scarf. That's quite funny. It's a fun idea. You can see here there's a little detail. Textile capital of the world. Not sure about this one though as a shirt. Baz says, I received the Interway shirt today with all 4 turtles. Unfortunately, they missed the trip by not delivering in a piece box. Yeah, I saw Baz. Someone shared that they were shipping it in a piece box, but I don't know if that was only for some of the shirts or whether that was just maybe like extra expensive ones. I don't know, but that's really cool there, Baz. What did you think of the kit? It looks fun. I mean, the whole Ninja Turtles thing. We'll get onto that shortly. It's a very fun idea. I'm just going to roll my volume down slightly. If I'm too quiet or too loud, guys, do say. I seem to have this problem. I need to sort out my audio setup basically. But please do let me know if the volume's good or not. So we'll start with Greenville Triumph. I must say, it's a novel idea, but I can't say really. It just to me looks basically like they ran out of ink. It's got that problem. Dead says not a big fan of how wide the sash is. Yeah, I think it is definitely wider than you'd expect, isn't it? I think the scarf thing is quite fun, but I don't think the end product is great. I will stick it around here though. I'm not going to go too low. And of course, as we're doing with the hot wall, we're tracking how we feel about a certain brand. So every time a shirt goes on the wall, we'll move this little kind of brand tracker a bit. My Photoshop's been a bit slow. It's probably because I'm streaming and using Photoshop and using Chrome. I should say as well, since the last stream, I have again backdated a few shirts, and you'll notice another edition in the Volcano tier, and that is the Palmyra shirt. So again, this has been out for quite a while now, but that one since the last video was the only edition of the Volcano tier. Still only 2 shirts, but there'll be more for sure. The away also ranked very highly, so those I think were the most notable inclusions since we last spoke. Again, there's about a month's worth of shirts to cover, so I will be adding to this. So hopefully by Thursday, this list will be a bit more populated. But that's I think the main headline since we were last live. There's a bunch of other shirts as well. Anyway, yeah, so that's Greenville Triumph kicking off tonight. But we'll stay with Hummel in the US and go to Charleston Battery. Baz says on the Intershirt, yep, still love your shirt. I didn't bother with the Paramount or Transformers one, so as time passes, hopefully it will be a collector's item. You know what's funny, Baz? I actually picked up the Transformers shirt, and it's with a friend in Italy. I need to get him to send it on. It's been there for a few months. And in all honesty, I'll probably get it, photograph it. I'll likely sell it on, and I'll be happy to pass it on at the cost I paid if that was of interest. It's one of those shirts where I kind of wanted just to get it, to have some photos, and I might keep it, we'll see. But if you are ever looking for it, just give me a shout, mate. And I'll be happy to pass it on at the cost, the price I paid for it. Yeah, but that's just something to think about. No worries either way. Just a battery. This is an interesting couple of kits. I believe this I saw this was apparently a reference to the late 90s. I thought actually their previous home ship was quite similar, but certainly has a slightly nostalgic look, and it's interesting. I think whilst I like the colours and the overall kind of the general look of the shirt, I'm not a big fan of the the gap in between those two stripes there. In some ways, it's interesting because it kind of forms this kind of cross, doesn't it, in the sort of negative space cross. But it's certainly better than previous Charleston shirts where it felt like the crest and the Hummel logo was so far apart. That's a good buzz. Yeah, as I say, I need to get that Transformers shirt because I want to see it in person, and I was really excited to get it, and yeah, should be pretty cool. But yeah, do let me know. Yeah, so I think if it was me, and I don't know, I guess this maybe just is the team's look, right? But I would bring them in a little bit more. That would be a personal preference thing, though. I do think the overall look of the shirt is decent. It's a blank back. That like the amount of red is quite pleasing to me. I think that is quite nice, the way it frames those stripes, and you get it in the collar and the cuffs, or the neckline and the cuffs. So I think the shirt is pretty strong, and actually, there is just a lot of space around the Volvo logo. But I think as an overall design, I'm much preferring this to other recent Charleston kits, and I do think this one has the potential to sneak into the flames tier for me. Let's have a look. Sometimes I kind of see it alongside other shirts. You know what? I will keep it in our third tier, the candle tier. Because I think if I look at it like compared to something like a Portland shirt, I probably would take the Portland over it. So actually, we'll go something like here for Charleston, and of course Hummel. We'll button them down slightly. The idea with the placement of these brands is that it's roughly the average of all the shirts, but of course, it's there's a bit of flex there. And then we go to the away. I think I like this one a bit more. Now, this has a similar kind of situation with the space around the sponsor. But, it's certainly a little bit tighter. And I think I prefer this configuration, having that central stripe. All the details fit, they're kind of nicely aligned. I mean, if I was being a bit picky, the Hummel logo being kind of slightly to the right, I mean, that is very picky. It's not vertically aligned exactly, but I am a bit OCD like that. I do like the overall look of this one. The collar is interesting. That's probably one of the least favourite bits about the shirt. A bit of an odd looking collar, and it does look a bit flappy. But the overall aesthetic of it is pretty good. I think I would bump this one into the flames tier. Only just, but I think when I compare it to the home, I do like this more. Yeah, they've got a good colorway. They're working with those kind of the Borussia Dortmund colors, or well, not quite, but the yellow and black certainly is a good combo. But then I do like that they do mix in a bit of red on the home, and the away obviously being predominantly white, but with those yellow and black colors, pretty solid. I like it around there. And again with Hummel, let's just bump them a few pixels down. There we go, that's Charleston Battery. What about Sutton United? So a bit closer to home, or for me at least. We come to a shirt with O'Neill's. Now, O'Neill's are a brand who have done some good stuff, and they're certainly, one of those brands who are in that competitive bunch of brands, working predominantly, well, they're an Irish brand, but they do a lot in the Football League as well. Interesting shirt. That looks to be a kind of DNA inspired design. Not the first time we've seen a DNA inspired look. I believe it was Kilmarnock with Hummel, who also had a similar idea, or maybe it wasn't DNA, it was something science based. I forget now. Anyway, not too keen on this one. I think it's a tricky colour combo to really work well. And it is interesting having, it almost looks, I don't know if that's light blue or grey or white, the cuff collar, cuff colour there, the cuff detail colour. But the crest gets a bit lost, and because it's fully sublimated, which is fine, I mean, certainly that can work, but I don't really like the kind of ghost crest there. I think that looks a bit, maybe honestly it could just be a bit bigger, but because it's one of those old school intricate crests, I think these don't lend themselves as well to this kind of application. There is a nice back net detail, and I quite like that. I think that one has some legs. And the pattern is quite nicely applied, but I'm not really thinking, you see that colour, those colours are pretty underwhelmed by that. So I think in a different colourway I'd like this one a lot more. And again, I think if you had a better crest application, I'd also prefer that. All in all, it does feel to me like we're going to go further down the candle tier. So it's our lowest one of the shirts so far tonight. I do think O'Neill's bring something pretty good to the game. Generally speaking, I've liked a lot of their recent output. I can't say I like this one too much, and perhaps this is actually more of a symptom of the fact, we're talking about a kind of limited edition shirt, and these kind of special edition shirts, fourth shirts, when you get to that sort of territory, you can start to things can get a little bit off in terms of quality. Ideas start to get a bit more stretched, etc. But that appears to be our first O'Neill shirt. I'm looking at our boards here. Yeah, I can't see O'Neill's. I feel like I should. I mean, there will be a way to just search for it when there, but it's all good. Let's just stick him on the board. And this little cluster here, we'll get there, and we'll stick him in there. Bish, bash, bosh. O'Neill's on the board, and that is Sutton United. Yeah, I think you're right, Daredevil, saying sometimes monochrome everything ruins kits. I think that's the thing where, as an idea, the kind of largely monotone or kind of tonal look is quite popular, and I think there's good reason for that. When it's done well, it can really look quite smart. But I think there's examples of this where the colours just aren't really gelling as well. They've called it aubergine here. Yeah, I don't think it's not a good one for me. We're back with Hummel now. El Paso Locomotive. Now this one, we spoke about colours. This has a much stronger colourway. Really like that kind of, well, it's like a chevron pattern, isn't it? Which seems appropriate. Going through the across the chest, and I'm often so about gradients, but I think this one is quite tastefully applied. I really like how the logos, how the Hummel logo and the crest sit there, and I think as a pattern that looks really smart. Again, in the colorway, really like that. A little bit of yellow on the collar, the crest, and then the little jock tag detail. Really smart. That looks really good. I think this one actually, I mean, the good thing about Hummel, often their patterns are also often bespoke. Yeah, I really like this one. I'm looking at it here. I don't mind that choice. The colour for the chevrons there matching. It seems to match the main pattern there, and I like it. The navy shirts, you see a lot of them, but I really like that combo with the light blue and the little bits of yellow. So the colours are working. I like the pattern. It's a very synergistic kit. It's all kind of singing in harmony. This is an easy Flames tier shirt for me. And it's the kind of these sorts of shirts do go under the radar. I think obviously, given that they're with Hummel. Oh, I'm just taking a screenshot there actually. Given that they're with Hummel, there's every chance that these will make it to, certainly someone like Classic Football Shirts. A Football Shirt Collective, one of the sites that I do a lot of work with, we try and get shirts in like this because they are really cool. And I agree, Daniel said this one is clean. I think it is really clean. Honestly, I really think this one actually deserves to be around here. That's how much I like it. We'll stick it next to PSG. That's another one I ranked off stream actually, but I quite like that one. But that is El Paso Locomotive. Really solid. Really solid. But we come to Inter Milan, and we've talked about this with Baz already. The much talked about Inter Milan shirt with the latest in what seems to be the start of a new series. Of course, much like the Atletico Madrid Columbia Pictures shirts of the noughties, where Atletico Madrid had various movie logos as sponsors. In this example, into working with Paramount, we've had the Transformers shirts that we talked about before, and now with the Ninja Turtle shirts. Interesting set of kits. I think as a logo, honestly, it's not for me the best. I think my initial impression is I prefer the look of the Transformers logo. I think as an icon, it's a little bit more, well, iconic compared to this logo, which of course it's instantly recognizable. But to me, you know, I look at these and you've got the kind of full color there for the away. There's a huge novelty factor, and I think the biggest thing about all three of these shirts is that they are very collectible. I do think, even though it could be argued that it's an obvious move. Oh, I forgot to move Hummel, didn't I? Oh, that's fine. We can leave him there. Yeah, even though you could say it's basically just, you know, exactly what Atletico Madrid were doing, we just simply haven't seen a lot of this at all in the game. So I do think that the novelty factor, the collectability factor, is really high. But trying to judge this kit as a kit, you know, we're not really ranking this idea. We're trying to rank this shirt in isolation. And again, I think the Transformers kit for me on the same shirt was something around here. I would actually say I would actually want to stick this this home shirt somewhere around here in the calendar tier. So certainly not too bad by any means. But I don't, despite the novelty factor, which the novelty factor is keeping this one higher, I don't think I like this as a shirt as much as some of the other kits in this area. So let's go there. And Nike on the board. If we do a little bit of shifting around, there we go. So that is the Inter Milan and Ninja Turtles home, but we will rank all of them. Bass says, yeah, the home and the orange one I wasn't on board, but the away quite nice. Is it just on until home kit? It's the home and away and third. And yeah, Baz, I think coming to the away, now this one definitely of the set is the most distinctive, and I like that it is full color. I think in this example it helps, especially, you know, obviously the sash is already broken up, so it's great to, like, you know, it fits in nice and tight. And I think there's something to be said about having the full color. I think, you know, whereas the home and the away and the third, I'm definitely less high on. I think it's still quite cool and quite collectible, but I do think the away is the strongest of the set. Now, where would I rank it? I think I'm not going to go too crazy. I think, despite the, again, I've said novelty factor several times, I really do think that is it's okay, Daniel. I really do think that is the biggest selling point of the shirt. And I think this one of the three, you know, we're working with perhaps some of the slight negatives of seeing this Nike template now for the second year running, and I think we're all pretty tired of it. Well, I certainly am. But anyway, this one, I think for the novelty factor low, goes into the flames tier. I think something kind of around here feels good for me. And certainly from a collectability perspective, it's way further up, right? But let's go here. And we've got Nike. We can bump them up. Again, a few pixels. That seems about right. And then we come to the third. I think I might even prefer to the home, to be honest. It would have been cool, actually, maybe if they'd, I know with the Nike grind, the new sustainable approach that Nike have for their crests and logos. Pardon me, perhaps they could have done that as well, or had that idea in the speckles. That could have been kind of fun. But as is, I think I'd take this over the home, to be honest. It's the same icon, of course, but I think I slightly prefer the third. I do just quite like the third shirt anyway, and of course, you know, with the normal sponsor, you know, this isn't much different. Well, it is because it's got a Ninja Turtle on the front, but you know, the strength of the shirt is still there regardless of the sponsor. I really do like the colours on this one. Yeah, so I'd actually put this one also in the flames tier, and probably just behind the away. Yeah, let's go here. That feels about right. Good stuff. Hey, Retro Ball, good to see you, my friend. Good stuff, Baz. Have a good one once again. See you Thursday. Thanks again, mate. Dana was saying they should have had the third kit with the orange bandana for Mikey. Yeah, you see that exactly. These are the kind of things, right? When you've got, I think, especially because they've already got the same logo. Is it the same one? Yeah, it's the same one. Yeah, like this idea is good, right? If you're gonna have it, like do something crazy. Like you're already completely breaking the mold. You've already got this logo, film, movie connection. There's a lot more potential to do something memorable. I think that's one of the things with the Atletico Madrid Columbia Pictures partnership, and the reason we love looking at those is because you had, you know, the logos, the film logos in their, you know, strange colorways, or sometimes it really clashed. But I think it was, you know, it was the complete kind of, well, abandon to just chuck logos on, let them do the talking. This one feels a little bit too sanitized, I think, or at least because you've got the duplication of the logo. Have one like that, sure, but then the other one, if it was a bit more this idea, I think we would be onto something. Anyway, I completely agree, Retro Boys. There's so much better with film logos than better sponsors or cryptocurrency. Absolutely, and that's the thing. Like, just from a fan perspective, this, or certainly collector's perspective, how much more interesting is this? How much more fun is this? I think certainly, yeah, it would be great if more clubs actually did this sort of thing. Yeah, why not? Like, I mean, you know, film is obviously a good one. I just saw June last night, and that was amazing. I am completely hooked by. Well, the film was great. I've recently read the book after having, you know, in preparation for this film. So if you want to talk about June, we can do that. But yeah, like that'd be a clean logo on a shirt. Anyway, we come to Stade de Reims. I'm not sure how you say their name correctly, so apologies. But this is a really interesting shirt. So I believe this is a collaboration. It is with the artist Cauchemar, Guillaume Brieux. No idea who he is, but the shirt they produced is pretty sweet. We can see here there's a kind of slightly shiny reflective element there. I like that a lot. Honestly, the shirt looks really good. I think this kind of collar design also looks like a kind of chain, or kind of like a Roman element. It's really nice. You can see a similar idea, or the same pattern, I should say, subliminally through the body, and I like that they've really lent into the long sleeves. It looks like either they're only available in long sleeves, or it is just the promo shots. But some great, well, I think it looks really good. This is much better than just a blackout shirt, and it's good to see. You know, so many shirts, right? They are obviously, since the blackout trend, we still see many teams and brands just releasing blackout kits with little to no development on the idea, and you know that's fine, but it's very passé. I think now seeing brands, even if it's something like this, taking a similar kind of, it's a similar vibe to a blackout shirt, of course, but it isn't just black. And I like the various details on the pattern. It looks really smart. I don't know this love heart. I don't know what that detail is exactly, but that again really stands out nicely, and I like the choice for the application. So this one is actually very strong. To be honest, when I look at this, I really don't think it's out of place. Well, let's have a look. Let's stick it on the board. But you know what? I don't think I'm quite ready to stick it in the Volcano tier. Or maybe I am. Maybe I am. Reminds me a little bit. Well, one of my favourite shirts, which was blackout or blackout adjacent, was the SK brand shirt from a few years ago, which had iridescent details. And that's one I picked up, and it's a real favourite of mine. I think this one is going to end up just here, just outside the Volcano tier, but I really do like it. And it's great work from Umbro. Dennis says long sleeve shirts will forever look better than short sleeve. Amen to that. I completely agree. Now, the funny thing is, I think we've had only one Umbro shirt, and it was ranked all the way down here. So we will bump then all the way up. Let's go there. Let's move Puma. It's very congested in this part. But that is Reims. I still don't know how you say their name. I apologise to any fans. Really like this shirt. It's a collaboration shirt. Good stuff. And we come now to another Hummel shirt from the US. Certainly been a theme of tonight. We come to one Knoxville. First impression, that's a funny back logo. First impression, this kind of almost like a sunset colourway. Looks pretty smart. The cuff detail I don't love, in all honesty, but you know, the logo's incorporated there fairly okay. And you know, as a kind of overall colourway, I do like this one. It's interesting when you see the crest. That again is quite a distinctive crest, and it appears that the colours have been drawn from there, and it does look good. As I say, I don't really like that cuff detail. I'd probably honestly just rather not have that on it, you know, personally, and instead maybe have this kind of as an inside neck detail. That's one thing I would probably change. And it's this pattern. I'm not sure what it is. It reminds me of a kind of like an old school globe logo. Maybe that's what it is actually. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. But overall, oh, okay. It's the sun sphere structure. Is that what that is in the background? Okay, cool. I like this one. A few things I would change, but I actually do think this one, as a whole, this kit as a whole, has the look of a low Flames t-shirt about it, to be honest. I do really like the colours. I think that the shade of orange, which is the main secondary colour, honestly is really nice with the white. And I think, you know, there's something kind of charming about that pattern. Again, it does remind me of the kind of, again, I'm just reminded of old school kind of globe icons, or you know, that kind of aesthetic. I kind of like that, to be honest. I think this one is a low Flames tier. We've got there's some other US shirts and MLS shirts. Let's stick it there, and that is Hummel, of course. So we will now find them. Well, they're there. Let's bump them down a bit, and good stuff from one Knoxville. Let's keep this going. We're making good progress. We come down to Miami FC. Now this is already grabbing my attention. You guys know I love an embossed pattern, and great to see Macron, one of the champions of embossed details. Really like this. This immediately, I'm going to say, is a Flames t-shirt, and I think this is a kind of mid Flames t-shirt. It's amazing how much better a shirt is, in my mind, when you add embossed details like this. It adds so much depth. It adds, you know, what would otherwise be, if that was just a subliminal pattern, has the same colours as a shirt. It kind of does actually, doesn't it? Daredevil. Yeah, no, maybe that's why I like it. Miami Dolphins. Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Obviously, Miami, the Dolphins, they've had some orange kits in their history, orange jerseys in their history, and you do see the flash of turquoise or teal. I like this one a lot, guys. I'm just going to say it now. I think this is actually just, like, I don't mind those chunky cuffs. I think especially because you get to see a bit of that teal, that turquoise. Yeah, and I think that pattern looks great. It's a very this is such a Macron thing to do, to have a pattern emanating from the crest. They had a range of shirts. I forget what year it was, but it wasn't long ago. Almost every one of their main shirts, on the top tier shirts, had that idea, and it basically worked every time. Like, honestly, it was really cool. And they do. It's just a very Macron thing. I associate it with Macron when you have a pattern like that, which starts at a crest and then, splays out. I agree, Dedo. Better than into Miami kits. Absolutely. Genuinely, guys. I have no problem putting this one as high as here. So that's higher than any MLS kit. You got Austin. I really liked Austin Austin FC's kit, but I think this Miami shirt is sneakily one of the better shirts we've seen so far this year. And credit to Macron. I really do like Macron as a brand. I think they are fantastic. Now, surely we've had a Macron shirt. Are you telling me that's the first Macron shirt we've ranked? What? I don't believe that. Oh, that's my eyes deceive me. I cannot see Macron in the brand section. So there we go. That's funny because obviously only having one shirt. Whoops. They get to start. Yeah, again, I'm marathon. Yeah, okay. If I've missed it, I apologise, but that may be the first Blackwood shirt we've ranked so far this year. Obviously, we've missed quite a few weeks, so there will be other releases. There we go. Macron, top of the pile. Congrats to them. Of course, a lot will change, I'm sure, as the year goes on, but that's really cool. Love it. Really, really high on that Miami shirt. Good stuff. Utah Royals next. Now, these the Royals are team from the NWSL, the National Women's Soccer League. Some really cool kits in the NWSL. One thing to track, as you may have seen already, is that most, if not all, of the NWSL away shirts have this same kind of gradient idea. So that's just a league-wide thing. But there's been a lot of discussion. Nike are really committed to making more bespoke kits for the league. And certainly the home shirts reflect that. And even in the away shirts, they look quite smart, despite the shared template. But expect a lot more going forward. So if we start with the home, this kind of almost looks like a kind of sand dune. I've got June on my mind, but sand dune, a mountain idea. It looks really good. Like, there's nothing. I mean, it's on the back as well, which is a real big plus. I think the overall effect of this one is strong. Yeah, I like it quite a bit. It's, the crest as well, pretty tidy looking design. And again, the fact the pattern goes on the back is enough for me to consider this one, I think, in the Flames tier. I think I will. I think the pass is really nicely executed. And of course, we're always talking about colours. I do like the colours here. It's almost the kind of gold yellow tones are really nice. It lends themselves well. It lends to the pattern. Or it complements the pattern, I should say, quite a bit. And I like that there. Of course, being a Nike shirt. We'll bump that up a little bit as well. Let's just do some movement. There we go. That's the home shirt. What about the away? We talked about the away having this gradient idea, but I do think the colours are really nice on this one. I think when you look at this here, again, very simple, but I like these tones. I like the dark navy into the more true navy. It looks good. You see it in the sun there, really nice, and the yellow details contrast really well. So this is like, despite the fact this is essentially just a shared template and you see this shared pattern, again, I think it may be all of them, all of the NWSL away kits, or certainly most of them. But some colourways are going to look better than others. I actually do think this one has something about it. I would almost go as far as to say, I think I'll probably, well, I was going to say in the Flames tier as well. I will stick it in the counter tier, but right at the top of the counter tier, yeah, I'd probably take it around here. I will slightly trim this because it's a little bit on the wide side. It really doesn't matter, does it? But I'll just try to take a screenshot again. There we go. That is Utah Royals. Decent set of home and away kits. So here we go. You can see what I mean. We've got Washington Spirit. And these guys have, well, if we start with let's start with the home. Almost like a kind of dazzle camo look. I don't think this one is really, I'm not too excited about this as an overall look. I do like this kind of, again, I'll call it dazzle camo even though it's not, well, it is kind of a dazzle camo, isn't it? I do like it, but I don't know. I think it's something about the panels here. The fact that I guess it's just the cut of the shirt, right? It's not. It does kind of get a little bit jarring, and it's cool to see. Well, it's funny. That looks to be, maybe that's the replica, just a transfer. But then you can see on the player shirts more of like an iridescent approach, and that looks really cool. I do think to be honest, seeing that, I'm a sucker for this idea. I think that looks really good. Yeah, so I think this one, if it was probably just the paneling, it's just a little bit, it's kind of taken away from me from what is otherwise quite a good look. Interested to see play shots on the back. I mean, I much prefer it to a plain back, so I won't complain. The sponsor is pretty large there, and again, the jump from the replica, what I assume is the replica, to the player issue is pretty big. So we'll judge it as the player issue, and in that case, I think we have a Flamestitch shirt on our hands. Without, genuinely, I might have moved it down to the Canal tier. But let's rank the player as the player issue. I think this one is a Flamestitch shirt, and to be honest, I really do like. Even though the design of the crest is kind of a bit clunky, I do like the overall look of this one. I actually do think it feels about right here. There's a good gap there. Pretty strong. So, let me blow my nose. Pretty strong from who's that? Washington Spirit. And that's Nike, so we'll move them up slightly. And then what about their away shirt? Of course, as we talked about, this is essentially the same idea with the gradient. A very unusual combo. Wow. You've got a kind of Volt green into a sort of soft yellow. I mean, it's memorable. I'll give them that. I don't think I particularly like it, but then again, I can't recall many, if any, teams having this look. And you can see here the same idea where you've got more of a iridescent or sort of, or maybe it is just light blue actually, but certainly the crest, very different on the replica. It looks pretty naff on the replica. You can see there was on the player shirts. It looks much better. We will rank the player shirt. Honestly, even though it's a pretty ugly, I think that's quite an ugly combo, but full marks for an original colour scheme. It's a bit much. I think I would probably rank this one, in the colour tier, but I actually think it's just such a surprising combination that I do want to actually rank it somewhat high in the colour tier. That is my first impression of the shirt. It is like that is such a to put those colours together. That takes some guts, shall we say? And if I just get it resized, there we go. And where do we like it? I think, you know what? We've got Nashville there. Yeah, let's stick with there. That's Washington Spirit. Pretty much exactly where Nike are ranked on our brand watch. Home and away, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Right, we've got Seattle Reign. Now I'm just looking through here. Yeah, we've got a real a spate of NWSL kits. I think what we'll do is we'll do a couple more teams, then we'll pause it there, and then on Thursday we'll pick it up again. And there's some. I really like some of these shirts. I'm just going to say now there's at least one Volcano t-shirt from the NWSL which I've seen, if not more. In fact, we might even come to one tonight. We'll start with Seattle Reign, then we'll finish with San Diego Wave. Now, looking at firstly the Seattle Reign home shirt, a very, very simple black, I read black instead of black, navy and gold design. Their crest is pretty cool there. What's funny is, you see the way this has been starred with the collar. I actually think that would be a pretty good look. And it's funny, this is something I've seen before, where the styling of a kit in a promo shot, or a series of promo shots, actually kind of shows up the finished product. The shirt looks good, and it's good to see it with the Nike player issue spec. But even though I'm not always the biggest collar fan, I kind of do like this off-white collar, this beige collar. Anyway, we're not ranking that, of course. We are looking at the shirt. I think it's a little bit, as much as I like it, especially with the player issue, there's something missing here, and I think probably for me it would be something like a pattern or some embossed details. Obviously, ranking this, we shouldn't really have the player issue shirt, but I'll just grab this. a plain shirt does look much better, especially if it's with, you know, if you've got Nike or Adidas, if they've got the player spec in the, you know, the, whether it's Dry for ADV or Heat Ready or whatever brands, whatever the name for the brand spec is, it does look a lot better. I do think this one is a can or tier shirt though, but similarly to the Washington Spirit, I don't mind it around this area. And of course, being a Nike shirt, that is them there. I really don't need to do this, but I'm gonna just trim that as well. There we go. We come to the, this isn't good for my OCD. We come to the Seattle Reign away. Unsure about this one. It's fair to say that this combo looks a little bit drab, and the red, not sure where that's coming from. Particularly looks a bit out of place. Overall, it looks pretty forgettable. Now, I don't actually think I would put this in the Ice Cube tier, but it's pretty close. You know, I'd probably put it just outside. And it's funny, you seeing every team essentially have these gradient kits. I find myself not hating them as much as I thought I would. Dead, was saying template kits are always meh. Yeah, I think the one saving grace with these is that they do at least have completely, I think all of them, if not, well, some of them, sorry, if not all of them, at least have bespoke colours in the same pattern. I know it's a small thing, but that does save them from being, you know, if we saw repeat colourways, then I think we would be seeing quite a few down here. But as is, I'm going to go here. Yeah, something next to Toronto feels about right. And of course, again, we will move Nike down a bit. And that's a good point, Dad was saying. That's why I like the idea of MLS One kit, a new kit design a year. It does help prevent situations like this with the NWSL. I think that's definitely, you can see one of the advantages of the MLS model. And I think that's, you know, for all the kind of, there's some negatives about the MLS approach. But yeah, I think it definitely, in this example, like Dad was saying there, I think it does make sense. But what about it's the first yawn of the night. I'm amazed it lasted 50 minutes. San Diego Wave. I did talk about this already a bit on Twitter, but I love it, guys. Let's be honest. It's a simple idea in many ways to take the elements of the crest, but I really think they are playing to their strengths. What's the best thing about well, one of the best things about the team is the crest. Look at that. It is immediately, it's vibrant. It has these kind of elements at the sunset, and they've obviously brought that out. Got a nice detail there. That is great. We love to see that. And for some reason, American kits, whether it's MLS or NWSL or USL, often just have really good little jock tag details. The pattern, you know, continues in part on the back, but I really think this one is an easy inclusion in the Volcano tier, guys. That's how much I like it. I think they've got it spot on. I really do. And it's not, you know, literally, I think if you saw that shirt, you could be understandable to kind of say, oh, sure, they've just basically used the crest idea, but they've done it in such a good way. I really like, so just going back to the pattern quickly, you know, the fact that you've got almost this kind of like hand-drawn aesthetic with the kind of grain and the kind of, I like that. I think it looks good. It kind of looks like chalk. It has this kind of slightly organic feel to it, despite the crazy colours. But obviously the colourway is, I just love it. I think this is Volcano tier. I think this is only our third ever Volcano tier shirt. So we are in rarefied air, or the shirt is in rarefied air. Is that a phrase? I think that's a phrase. It is now. Let's stick with there. And Nike get to go for a bit further up the list. Looks like a colour pattern on a beach shirt, but the shirt is brilliant. It does, don't it? It does. And we come to the away. It's the gradient, two-tone pink. It's fine. It's marginally better than the Seattle shirt, but it's definitely firmly in the third tier. That is our candle tier. Yeah. I guess probably as we go through, and certainly when we start Thursday stream, assuming there's not a bunch of shirts between now and Thursday, we'll be pretty much picking up where we left off with the rest of the NWSL shirts. Yeah, the more we see this template, there will be a bit of fatigue setting in, I'm sure, as we see it more and more. This is fine. I think, Inter Miami, yeah, we'll stick them just behind there. And of course, being Nike, we'll move them down a bit. But I think that will do it for tonight's stream. I'm just going to say now, I really like the Racing Louisville shirt, and there's others which are really cool. So there's some good stuff to come, but that is it for today. Recap. As we've just seen, San Diego launching themselves into the Volcano tier, which is really cool to see. We also had Reims, however you say the name, doing really well, and Inter Miami. Sorry, Miami FC, not Inter Miami. Inter Miami are down here. Miami FC and Macron producing the goods. So some really, really solid shirts, to be honest. And as I look at this tier list, this hot wall, we are growing nicely. Alan Diaz with a great question here says, what's your advice on pricing shirts to sell? Great question, Alan. Oh, Daredevil. Nice one. Thanks, mate. Thanks for your contributions, as always. See you soon. Yeah, Alan, I think my biggest thing I would say is do as much market research as you can. So look at what the shirt you are selling is available for, or what the shirt, sorry. Let me start again. Let me speak English. Look at the shirt. Basically, try and buy the shirt you're looking to sell, right? That's what I would do. Look at eBay. Maybe even search on places like Twitter to kind of find it in any threads. And really, the biggest thing I would say is prices and market prices fluctuate so much that you want to see basically what you can buy a shirt for today. That is really helpful. And if you're looking to sell, of course, this isn't rocket science, but I would definitely, try and be the cheapest or list your shirt, offer your shirt at the cheapest price comparative to the market. But also, if you're not too fussed about the end price, eBay particularly or those types of platforms are good because you can list it for very low to encourage buyers. The risk is, or the danger is potentially that you get the shirt go for a lot less than it could. But ultimately, if you're just looking to sell, that is one way to do it. But I would finally mention Twitter as a really good place. There's some really good threads, really good accounts that basically have like community-driven selling threads and like days where people can post replies and stuff. And there's all sorts of stuff like that. So I think the biggest thing is just look around, shop around, and then once you know what the shirt is available for, you should have a range. By the time you've found it a few places, maybe you've seen it on classic football shirts, and of course they tend to sell shirts for a lot more, so you can scale that down a bit. If classic is selling a shirt for £100, it's probably worth closer to £50, maybe £60. But you could kind of price around that. I hope some of that's useful. If you got more questions, feel free to leave a comment on the main comment section. I can get to that. Thank you guys. It's been a fun one. We will be doing this on Thursday, so do join us Thursday afternoon if you can, and look out for more videos on the channel, whatever it might be, whatever questions you have, stick them in the comments, as I said. And if you've got ideas for videos, always open to that as well. But I think that'll do for tonight. And once again, thank you for your contributions and your time. And if you're watching this on catch up, thank you as well. I really appreciate those that watch these streams, even though we're not live. Thank you, Alan. All the best, mate. Take care as well. That'll do it for today, though. See you very soon, guys, for another one. Take care.